Hello, everyone. I'm Justin Kennington, president of the SDVoE Alliance. I'm joined today by Karl Johnson, who's a director of product management at Christie Digital. And we're going to talk a little bit today about SDVoE and Christie's position as a steering member of the Alliance. Welcome, Karl.
Thanks, Justin. Glad to be here.
Why don't we start off? Tell us a little bit about yourself and about Christie.
Well, yeah, as you said, I'm the director of product management for video processing equipment, and that includes the AV over IP category that we work with SDVoE and our Terra product range. So look, Christie is a leading manufacturer of display solutions, and that includes displays, processing, and content management. You would see that in projection, direct view, flat panel displays, LEDs, and then the processing products such as Christie Terra, Christie Spider, and Pandora's Box content management playback devices.
So Christie has a long history of high-end display devices, right? Especially the projectors that they're known for, the LED walls and the older micro tiles, et cetera. But really, there's a much broader focus now. I'm hearing, and you tell me if I've got it wrong, but I think you've got a much broader focus now on some of the devices that help drive those displays. Is that fair?
Yes, indeed. We refer to it often as content management and image processing. And, at Christie, really, there's let's say a vision that we have is to create the best shared experiences. And so with that, with our AV over IP products in particular, and is that from end to end we'll supply a solution that includes LED display and processing, right? And some examples of providing a complete solution end to end are being seen today with some SDVoE Terra products, in that our 3DLP projectors, we have direct interfacing of the 10 gig Ethernet from an SDVoE system into our 3DLP projectors. New 3DLP projectors, as well as our microtiles LED, the controller box that you interface to AV signals. We can interface directly to the 10 gig interface, or you can also, with these Christie projectors and displays, you can use SDVoE receivers as well.
I think it's worth dropping anchor a little bit on that topic. The Terra product line itself includes, let's call them traditional encoders and decoders as standalone boxes where you plug in your sources, you plug in your displays. What you're talking about is display products themselves that bypass the HDMI connection, bypass the standalone receiver, and instead connect directly to the Ethernet network and decode the SDVoE signals natively inside the display. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. And that provides some advantages on the solution side. For infrastructure, right, there's you have fewer devices, so you have fewer points of failure, fewer devices to control, fewer devices to cable up, right? So in facility impact, that can become a valuable with less conduit, less power receptacles, and cleaner installations is an example of some benefits you get there.
Mm-hmm. And I understand, and you just mentioned it. This is available now in some of your big DLP projectors and the microtiles LED.
Yes.
This is not the place to put you on the spot about roadmap, but is it fair to assume that we'll see even more of that kind of integration between Christie displays and SDVoE in future?
Yeah, you'll see more. You'll see more solutions, more projectors, and so forth that come out that you can interface directly to 10 gig Ethernet to interface with the Terra transmitters and a broader SDVoE signal distribution system over Ethernet.
Okay. So taking it back to Terra and SDVoE, what was it that drew you to using SDVoE as the technology for what I believe is Christie's first video distribution product line?
Yeah, SDVoE, I mean, it was really attractive to Christie because we supply large screen displays, large format projection LED displays. Quality was essential. And we had experience with AV over IP and compression technologies, and some key things here were the world was moving to 4K and being compatible with 4K, right? So SDVoE was 4K 60 ready. It's effectively an uncompressed, lossless quality And as you stretch pictures over large displays, that's really important to the team at Christie. Latency is always one of these things that you want to minimize. And if you build up latency in your system, SDVoE has effectively zero frame latency, zero latency. So that's never a design requirement. And along with that came synchronization. When a lot of solutions that Christie gets involved with is multiple screens side by side, right? Or tiled displays. And the ability to deliver synchronized content is something that's challenging to do when you move to AV over IP. It's solved if you're using SDVoE. So obviously quality, and then there were the benefits of just moving on to Ethernet, right? We use 10 gig Ethernet, and with that, we're not confined to a card frame, a circuit switch technology that you might outgrow. We have a platform here with SDVoE that's highly flexible. It can be software defined, and it can grow and have a much longer life cycle than traditional approaches.
You touched on a couple of important things there. One is the fact that latency stacks, right? If you have latency in
Yeah.
a little bit of latency in each component of your system, that adds up to a lot of latency in the overall system. So when you're talking about distribution and processing and display, you really need to minimize the latency at each stage. Otherwise, the total is unacceptable. I wanted to understand what would you say is unique about Christie's approach to SDVoE, and what makes your products stand out within the SDVoE ecosystem?
Yeah, there's a couple key areas I would say, central to the SDVoE system at Christie. I would say our controller and our programming software, Terra Controller and Terra Manager. The Terra Manager provides a highly a graphical user interface with lots of controls and hooks to exploit all of the extra features that are inside of SDVoE, exploiting the scaling and the frame buffer, the downscaler, KVM, USB management. All right, that's very efficient. We applied experiences we had with other video display processing products as we prepared that software. On top of that is the tools to make the installation more efficient, auto addressing, setting ranges. These are things that make it much easier programming and addressing and managing devices on the network. And with the controller, what we did was it's a highly secure appliance. So it's hardened. All of the data on the unit and the data in motion is encrypted. There's, I'll call it 360 degrees of security management, logging, alerts, and protections for the device as we move into the network. That's an important area to have a comprehensive solution in the security domain. And then finally, as we've talked about before, right, Christie, we're able to supply end-to-end solutions that will work for the customers. We've tested our products together, and then we have our projectors and our LED displays, for instance, that you can have a direct interface to the 10 gig Ethernet to accept the SDVoE input, or there's the flexibility of using Christie received Terra receivers as we build those solutions.
What's been the benefit for you of SDVoE as an alliance for your product line and its success?
Well, the SDVoE Alliance, obviously, we have a shared standard that everybody's using. And, as an alliance, we've been able to work together on common activities, messaging to the market, educating, right? If you go to SDVoE.org, right, there's the whole SDVoE Academy. There's all kinds of training courses on foundational technology. So being a part of the team, we're contributing and leading on that activity and seeing the right tools for the industry to advance. As well as I would say that's probably the biggest benefit that I could see. There's also collaborative activities, helping educate the market that devices are interoperable, you get consistent results from everybody's products.
Yeah, right. And of course, it's worth noting Christie has been with SDVoE since the beginning. You're one of the original founding members of the Alliance. So thank you for that. Let's talk about your customer success. What are some of the installations that have involved Christie Terra and maybe some of the connected displays that you'd like to showcase?
Yeah, well, I would say I regularly look at, what are the different markets and applications that the product's been installed at, and in general, I've seen a very broad range of applications. Christie, with our large format projection, we get involved with entertainment environments. With our flat panel and direct view displays, we get involved with enterprise applications, plus projectors and command and control, right? And even some education applications, as well as federal government. So, examples of those types of applications are in the entertainment environment, like the Zurich Opera. That's a live, interactive entertainment environment. And Christie Terra is used in that environment to distribute signals from the sources in the control room to the projection display that's supporting the act, the presentation at the Zurich Opera. It's also been installed in theme parks. Those are more entertainment environments, as well as, command and control and government-oriented applications. There's security operation centers in Montgomery County in Texas, in the Houston metro area. That's a good example. Another one, let's see, is in North Carolina at the university at their security center. And then, there's plenty other applications like that we're involved with.
Yeah, that's great. You guys have been a good contributor for getting case study publications for SDVoE, and anybody who goes to the SDVoE website can see several case studies. Karl, I think we've touched on everything that I wanted to touch on today, but is there anything you'd like to add or cover that we missed?
I believe we've covered it.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.